Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris. This video is born of, I guess, a little bit of frustration in the constant messages I'm receiving from refugee aspirants who are reaching out to me because they're not getting answers from my opaque government, who are sometimes listening to cockprodders who mislead them, going into WhatsApp groups and Facebook sites and hearing all kinds of nonsense. And so therefore, I felt it was necessary to make this video today. So let's be very clear about this. We have at least two examples that we know of South African refugees who have gone to America and then relocated because that's not where they wanted to be. One of them was Charles, who relocated from Buffalo, New York to South Dakota by his own volition. He decided to go there because he had an opportunity to work on a farm, and so he took it. And then I know of another couple that left a Midwestern state and went to, no, not the East Coast, but close to the East Coast to become managers on a poultry farm. So that's two people who relocated voluntarily. A family in Montana refused to relocate voluntarily when offered a house for free and a car for free by South Africans already established and living in America in nearby Wyoming. And they put things on Facebook which were spread around claiming that refugees are suffering in America. They're not getting help. There's no assistance for them. They've been misled. Now, that story was blown wildly out of proportion. Those three families all made decisions. They made choices. Those were their choices to make. Two of them have gone well. One has not gone so well. But that's not the U.S. Refugee Program Assistance Program's fault. That's not USCIS's fault. That's not America's fault, whether they did well or didn't do well. That is their choice. And conflating their personal choices with the refugee program is BS, and it needs to stop. That's the first point. The second point here is that you were put in a place normally. The people in Montana were exception. They insisted they wanted to go there. And for whatever reason, the U.S. government accommodated them. I don't understand why. I don't know the insides of that. I have talked to the family a couple of months ago when they said they were suffering, but I haven't been in contact with them since. But they went there for whatever reason. And the U.S. government accommodated them. I don't know why, because there was no refugee assistance office or non-government organization contracted in the area where they live. Therefore, they received remote assistance from someone who it appears didn't really give a flying flip about the South Africans and didn't care about any refugees because they were bumhurt, because they were losing revenue, because the refugee program is suspended. And the cash cow that these NGOs rely on to milk the American taxpayer out of our hard-earned dollars by bringing people into our country have been turned off. So that story got conflated into something that wasn't. But back to the real reason I wanted to make this video, because this is becoming a bit frustrating. People are conflating two different things. They're conflating services with benefits. Oh, I've been told that we won't get benefits if we move, and because you're listening to cockprodders that don't know what they're talking about. Listen very carefully, please. Benefits are different from services. Services are things that refugee assistance officers, CAFES officers, provide to you. People that the U.S. government pays to provide assistance to ensure you have a smooth arrival, resettlement, and you get established. The intent from the U.S. government is that you stay in the place that we send you to. That's why we ask you for the honest truth. Not every refugee aspirant is honest. Many of them mislead the U.S. government and lie to us and tell us that, oh, I'll go to Atlanta, I'll go to North Carolina, I'll go to Texas, get there only to relocate on their own. And then they don't have access to the services that they're provided free of charge. Some of them then bellyache and moan about how difficult America is. I'm not talking about the South Africans in this case. I'm talking about refugees in general. It's unfair. I'm the only black person in this place. I'm the only Muslim in this place. Well, that's because you made a choice. You went somewhere without assistance, and now you're isolated. That's a problem of your own making. And that's your choice, and you made that problem. So services are things like assistance with your curriculum vitae, helping you get your social security number, showing you how to use public transport, showing you what shopping is like, places to go, things to do, cultural sites to see, helping you get language classes or providing language classes and translation services. These are the services that you get. Other things are actual benefits that you did not earn. None of you earn these benefits. I'm paying for it, as are the other Americans who pay taxes. We're paying so that you can escape persecution and live in our country under our protection, under our succor. We pay for you to get refugee cash assistance, to give you pocket money so you can survive and get around in public transport until you get established. We provide you with medical insurance that lasts, I believe, up to a year, if I'm not mistaken, and so that you have medical coverage when you arrive. It is your responsibility upon arriving in America to become acclimated as quickly as possible, to understand the laws, the mores, norms, and values of a country as quickly as you can so you can obey them and follow them, and to seek employment if you're able to work. That is your role. The benefits are for a set period of time. Depending on the type of benefit, under law, some last for 3 to 5 years from the refugee assistance officers. In practice, that's never the case. In practice, the federal government has never funded, in the past 30 years, to my knowledge, the refugee resettlement program at a sufficient level that we can pay refugee cash assistance for the 12 months it's supposed to be paid, that we can pay for medical insurance as long as it should be paid, or what the law says, or we can provide other services up to 5 years. Only a few services. And benefits get, so that money is not there for as long as it says on paper and by law. In the past, recent past, including under the Biden regime, those benefits, especially refugee cash assistance, were cut after 4 to 7 months. The media has falsely portrayed the Trump administration as cutting the benefits entirely, which is a total lie and fabrication, and saying they've reduced them. Well, that's been the trend in Washington. That's not a Trump trend. That's a trend. So please be clear. If you go to America as a refugee, whether you're from Somalia, the DRC, or South Africa, and we send you to a place, it's because there's support there. There's a network there. And oftentimes there are many other recent arrivals or other refugees who are established who can help you, often from your same country, so you get acclimated more easily. There's a reason why you're sent where you're sent. Sometimes it's because you've requested it. You have family or you have a job offer there. Well, if they can accommodate that, then they'll do it. But they send you to a place normally where there's refugee assistance officer or office available to help you. If you choose to move on your own, that is your prerogative. You can move inside the United States. We're not a police state. You can move where you want to. You don't have to register the police where you live like you do in Germany, even though you're not a criminal. You live where you want to live. But when you leave your refugee assistance case officer, you leave them, and that support is not going to be provided remotely. If you move to South Dakota from New York, your assistance officer is no longer going to help you. It's not their job. It's not their responsibility. You're too far away. You're on the other side of the continent. So do not conflate benefits, because I've been told, oh, if we move, we'll lose our Medicaid. No, you don't. Medicaid is a federal benefit. Refugee cash assistance is a federal benefit. There are some communities, like in North Carolina, that will offer local benefits that the state pays for, and you'll lose those. I mean, if you decide to pick up and leave North Carolina and go to Nevada, North Carolina's not to give you money when you're in Nevada. They were giving you money if you're in North Carolina. I don't know if they do. I'm just giving you an example here. The point is, yes, you can lose some things, but you do not lose federal benefits. It's a country, a federal state. And the benefits, my military retirement isn't payable in Pennsylvania. It's payable to me wherever I live in the world. My Social Security is payable to me wherever I live in the world as long as I'm qualified. If I move to Panama, I get my Social Security check in Panama. If I live in South Africa, I get my Social Security check. I'm not old enough for Social Security yet. I'm just saying. It's an important distinction to understand that federal benefits, medical insurance, refugee cash assistance are not the same as services. Stop conflating the two. Benefits, services. You can lose services, but you do not lose the benefits. Stop mixing the two up and getting yourself in a tizzy. Calm down, take a deep breath, learn about what you're freaking out over before you freak out over it. Okay, I hope that helps. I haven't done a video on refugee program for a bit because, frankly, lots of people are going to the States right now and there's no real reason to do it. But I'm getting a number of questions in the past several days that have forced me to make this video. There you go, folks. What are your thoughts? Again, I do not encourage anyone to leave South Africa as a refugee. I also do not discourage anyone to leave South Africa as a refugee. I don't live in your shoes. I don't live on your property. I do not know your circumstances, and it's not my place to question them. That's up to the officials who interview you. If you're a legitimate refugee, the U.S. takes you in. That is our foreign policy, and I don't control that. Don't encourage you. Don't discourage you. I simply bring you the truth. Cheers.